Michigan sort of looked at the two options and said, okay, we got option A in Cade McNamara. We got option B in J.J. McCarthy. Well, guess what? We pick both. Option C. Jim Harbaugh just sort of Kobayashi Maru'd the whole thing. If you watch The Office, just kind of cut it down the middle, said, no, we're going to let them go into the regular season. Wasn't a huge shock for people close to that program that he's not deciding it just yet. And quite frankly, his schedule allows him some time to figure out who gives them the best chance forward. Now, he said Cade McNamara is going to start week 1. J.J. McCarthy is going to start week 2. We'll decide who's going to start, who's going to be our starter in week 3. And so ultimately, like I said, the luxury for Michigan is that you have the ability to do this, that you don't play someone like Notre Dame week 1, that you don't play someone that you're super worried about. That's no disrespect to Colorado. That's no disrespect to Hawaii. And I want to make this clear as well. Either of these teams, just given the nature of the beautiful thing that is college football, if they put pressure on them, if they squeeze them a little bit, we may get an answer to this quarterback race before week 3. But all that's to say, they feel good about going forward with either guy, starting the games. And it's fascinating to me that they're going to go forward with this. But even more so, I think it's fascinating the way that Jim Harbaugh is approaching this, saying, I need to see it in a game. I need to see it in a game-like scenario. In one hand, I'm sitting there saying, well, haven't you been simulating game scenarios for the last however many months? Isn't that what you did in spring ball? Isn't that what you did in fall camp? That's one thought. Then you also say, well, that makes sense because it's hard to simulate what it's like running out there in the big house in front of however many thousand fans in a game that really matters. He said he's going to look at points per drive, what they do with the offense in terms of, can we score points? Not just can you make a good throw, can you deliver the ball where it needs to be? Because if you can be perfect on your assignments, but if you don't score any points, well, then I can't play you at quarterback, right? I mean, if the offense isn't doing what it's supposed to do, we got problems in itself. And to look at both these quarterbacks as a whole from their skill set, Cade McNamara is the proven leader. Not that J.J. McCarthy isn't a leader, but Cade McNamara was named a captain, a guy they're going to look to really steer the ship, set the tempo, and obviously important at the quarterback position to have that leadership. But Cade McNamara is a guy who got them over the hump, won the Big Ten championship, got them to the college football playoff, and I think for him, similar to what we talked about with A&M and Max Johnson and Haynes King, Cade McNamara is that high floor guy. At the end of the day, you know he's not going to crash the car. Now, will you win a lot of games because of him? I don't know. Didn't really feel that way a season ago. It wasn't like he was the driving force behind a lot of their big-time wins. I think a lot of that was credit to the defense and Cade McNamara just knowing his role, managing the game, managing the offense, making the throws he needs to make. That's what I think you get with Cade McNamara. And I don't think it can be overstated, the leadership component. To know that your quarterback is not just your quarterback, but also the guy. To be the quarterback and to be the guy are two very different things. And I think Cade McNamara has solidified his place as the guy for this Michigan football team. Now, the temptation for Michigan is to look at J.J. McCarthy and say, whoa, dude has an arm. Dude offers a whole new element to this offense that we haven't really seen at Michigan in a minute. And we say it all the time here, the whole pro day scenario. If you put Cade McNamara and J.J. McCarthy out there in a pro day, J.J. McCarthy probably dominates. Probably a bigger arm. Might be a touch less accurate, but probably looks the best in agilities. He offers a whole new element with his legs and running the football, which we may see even if Cade McNamara is the guy. But J.J. McCarthy offers a lot of excitement and a lot of, whoa, what if? What if we had him there? And some of what Michigan does in 2022, I think, may be dictated by, okay, what do we need on offense? Sort of the whole algebra equation. We have the answer. We know we need to score 30 a game. Let's work backwards for why. Again, that's an example. If we do need to score 30 a game, what do we need at quarterback? And with all that they lost on defense, that equation, that end result of what you need to solve for could look a little bit different. Because last year, you were okay having a game manager in Cade McNamara because you had two NFL caliber players on the outside, one of them a Heisman Trophy finalist, Aiden Hutchinson, coming off the edge and wreaking havoc. And you were okay to run the football, Be physical up front. Throw off play action when you had to. Catch them sleeping with the deep ball here and there. That's great. That's fine. We'll work with that. Not to say they didn't score a lot of points, but the way in which they did it could look different this coming year. Is Michigan going to be a team to where they need to push the tempo and they need to beat you in a track meet because the defense is still trying to figure it out from all the pieces they lost a year ago? Or is it a year where, hey, we're just going to make this game long. We're going to lean on you. We got a good offensive line. We trust our backs and Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards. We're just going to lean on you. I think you probably see a different quarterback depending on what this offense, what this team even more so calls for in 2022. Because J.J. McCarthy, with all of that potential, they may need to score a lot of points. J.J. McCarthy feels like he gives them the chance to play that kind of wide open style of offense they need. I will say this, though. This experiment, I don't even know if experiment's the right word, this trial for Michigan, having two quarterbacks through the first 2 weeks of the season, it's a luxury. I think I trust Jim Harbaugh enough to where it makes sense. But when the answer becomes clear, stick with it. When the answer becomes clear, when you know who your quarterback is, when you name a quarterback, stick with it. Because I've been in locker rooms where you have two quarterbacks or there's a quarterback battle, and it's just impossible to escape. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody has some sort of feeling as to, well, hey, I think this guy gives us the best chance to win. Hey, I ran with this guy during team period, and he ran the offense really well. He actually threw me the ball, and we scored some points. I caught a touchdown from him. I think he gives us a good chance. And so to have this feeling of who's it going to be, who's it going to be, who's it going to be, stretch on too far throughout your season, I think you need to be careful of. So a word of caution. I love that he set parameters for this. Hey, by week 3, we're going to have somebody. But you need to make sure you are decisive. Be decisive with whoever you pick. Again, for the record, J.J. McCarthy offers so much potential, but I have a hard time turning my back on, 1, my captain in Cade McNamara, and 2, the guy who has proven that he's getting us to where we ultimately have always wanted to go, won a Big Ten title. I look at that ring on my finger if I'm Cade McNamara and say, remember this? Remember this thing? Who was your quarterback? Oh, that's right. That was me. We'll see what happens. J.J. McCarthy, Cade McNamara, both elite talents. J.J. McCarthy may just offer more in terms of scoring points, but all that's to say, we're going to see how it plays out. I trust Jim Harbaugh to make the right decision. He makes a little bit more money than me to make these kind of decisions, so we'll go ahead and let him do that. But
also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.